We're talking about movies. Alright, so The Flash just hit theaters after being in development for about 30 years. And obviously right off the top, I was a little skeptical about going to see it because of Ezra Miller and the numerous crimes and felonies he had committed across our great nation. But I know it was filmed before that, so they couldn't really go back and redo it. To me, it feels very like famous people can do what they want and never get in trouble. Money is king. As long as it makes profit, they don't really care. I understand I contributed to that by paying to go see it, so maybe I'm part of the problem. But I was just interested to see it kind of where it turned out. I was mainly interested to see what they would do with Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton. And it was kind of the end of the Snyderverse run before James Gunn rebooted it. And I was actually very surprised. This was a very entertaining and interesting movie. They took a lot of story beats and turns in there that I wasn't really expecting them to take. And I was kind of like, where are they going with this? How's this going to turn out? So I mean, I was quite surprised how good of a movie it was. I don't think it's the best film of the year or anything. I don't think it's better than like Guardians 3 or anything like that. But I thought that it was a very well-directed movie. I thought the story was very interesting. Really, the saddest thing about it to me is that I think it's really lame that they're rebooting the DCEU. And I know that I think James Gunn's going to do a great job with it. I'll probably end up liking it. But to me, there's a way you could have kept Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot and kept going with the stuff that Zack Snyder set up. I think it's kind of just, I guess, sad that they built that up all these years and now it's just over. I thought the stuff in this movie that was the most interesting was how it tied into the DCEU. Like when he messes up the timeline, now Zod's there. There's no Superman to stop him. That to me is really interesting. I get like maybe if you are not into the big DC movies and you're just watching this and you're like, oh, this guy from outer space wants to destroy the world, whatever. But having seen Man of Steel and being invested in that story and everything, the fact that it's like, oh, you know, it's Zod, he's come for Kal-El and everything. That to me, that was really interesting. I like how they played around with the timeline there. What they did with the timeline, I thought was very interesting, and to where it wasn't really, to me, as much multiversal as it was timeline. I don't know if he's messing up, going into different universes or just screwing up the timeline. To me, I interpreted it as he was just screwing up the timeline. But I liked how they played around with that. I know at the end they showed kind of different worlds and whatever. So yeah, I was pretty surprised with how good the story was and how good everyone was in it. Biggest thumbs up I got to give is to Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck. I wish Ben Affleck was in it more. I wish that he was continuing as Batman. But I thought that they both did a good job in the screen time they were given. Having Michael Keaton come back from the OG Batmans, which I don't necessarily love those movies, but it was just cool to see him back. I thought he did a great job. I thought there were some really cool cameos in this movie. I won't give them away here, but I think that was very creative. Some of the people they got to come back and be in the movie. My biggest criticism of the movie is the CGI is awful. For a 2023 movie, this looked like something from the early 2000s. And I had heard something about the director saying like it was intentional to show what the Flash sees when he's moving fast, but that's a really stupid answer. I think the main part of it I thought looked bad was when he goes into the Speed Force and it's in like this big like sphere thing. They have all the characters around it and they're awful CGI renders. I don't know why you wouldn't just have screen footage from the movie or clips from different scenes of the people there. That would at least look more realistic than these awful like clay people that are in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, just take scenes from the movie and put him in there and he can see where he wants to go. Maybe if that's the part the director was talking about, I don't know. That's silly to me. But in the like real world part of it, the opening scene at the very beginning of the movie, he saves some babies falling out of a window. The babies look terrible. I don't understand. Like, if they're going to look that bad, just don't do that scene. Like, you could do anything else other than that if they're going to look that bad. Just pick something that's not a baby and have him save it. Like, I don't understand why that's what they went with. I don't understand how you could say, yeah, that's good, put that in the movie. But I mean, most people I don't think care about stuff like that. But I mean, you watch it, you could say like that is a terrible looking baby. Those are terrible looking people in the thing. So I think that they should have taken a little more time with that. But I mean, what are you gonna do? Like I said, I think the story goes really interesting places and they take interesting turns and inject interesting stuff into it that I wasn't expecting. I was kind of like, oh, well, how are they going to get out of this now? I do think the end turns a little bit into we're on a green screen and there's giant colored CGI balls everywhere and like Pause. But I think that it's just a lie at the end. I think like the film doesn't really have a villain as much of a situation that they're going through. So I think the end tries to kind of throw a villain in there that wasn't as necessary to the rest of the movie. I thought the stuff with him and his mom was really good, and not that I thought it was emotional, but it was a good beat to have in there that most superhero movies wouldn't give you. So yeah, I thought the story was pretty good. I thought that the writing was a little more interesting than I expected it to be going into it. So recommendation. My biggest thing when I give these recommendations is it's your time and it's your money. Could I honestly look you in the eye and tell you I would recommend you spend your money to go see something? I think that if you spent your money to go see this, you would have a good time. Now that's taking into account, like I like superhero movies a lot, so this was more of my thing. I'm glad I paid money to see it. Something like, say, Shazam 2. I wouldn't recommend you pay to see that because I watched it on HBO Max the other day, and it's just something you can watch at home. There's just like certain things, like it can be a good movie. You don't have to go pay to see it. I would recommend that this is something that if you paid to go see this, you would have a good time and you would like it. Now, again, I think it's really lame that they're ending the DCEU with this. I wish they would continue it. I understand why James Gunn is rebooting it, but I just think there's a way to go about doing it where you don't have to get rid of Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck and everybody. I do think it would be inappropriate if Ezra Miller continued to play the Flash, just considering everything he's going through. But it's a good movie. I think if you paid to see it, you would be entertained and you would have a good time. So those are my thoughts on The Flash. Did you see it? Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. Let me know if you're sad to see the DCEU go and our great Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck. One last time, moment of silence. But I would appreciate it if you guys would like and subscribe to the channel while you're here. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be back soon with another review.